Namaste, welcome to another edition of Navimash podcast. So we are back with our second edition with the Academic Man, and we're going to talk about something interesting and something provocative. So Namaste, welcome Academic Man.
नमस्ते भाई.
Namaste. To the audience, we have a bit of a technical thing going on, so the camera will be on in about 5 minutes. Just apologies for this, and do let us know if you are able to hear us clearly, because the audio is something which is going here and there. So do let us know in the chat if you're able to hear us clearly, and any audio issues, do share it in the chat. So as you can see in the thumbnail that we have put out, okay, so we are doing an 1 year an early primer on Bengal elections
Yeah.
2026, and why. See, any election is an election. So why we are talking about Bengal elections in 2026, 1 year ahead. So I'll now hand over the stage to Academic Man to give a primer and intro to what we are going to talk about. Over to you, sir.
Thanks a lot. My contention is that this is not really, I guess, the best time to talk about elections. But then, elections matter because, uh, as you can see, Indian government cannot function at the level at which we want it to if it does not have the support, electoral and political support that it should have. Like, for example, if this Narendra Modi government had 350 seats, then I don't think it would be so easy for America and other countries to boss us around the way they are being they are doing it. In that case, elections become very important, particularly because uh, in we are, fortunately or unfortunately, we are a democratic country, and because of that, what we make a choice in electorally has a huge impact on our lives for the next not just 5, maybe 20, 30 years even. One wrong press of a button or not even going to vote can impact your future and your children's future in a very different way. Um Having taken that into account, it's very important that we discuss Bengal, not just because it shares the longest border with Bangladesh, which is now functioning almost similar to a rogue state. Also because Bengal has 42 Lok Sabha seats, and West Bengal is still a very prominent state in the Union of India. Whether it is important or not, I leave up to the audience, but I have a feeling that many people are always curious about why Bengal votes the way it does. So it is certainly very important, and it is definitely important if we consider things from a national security perspective and even democracy perspective in the future. So
Yes, so thank you for this great intro. So now we'll get back to the points of discussion that we had talked about. So first of all, the question that we have written in the thumbnail, that does Bengal need BJP? The first question. We'll answer the second question later, but the first question which we need to answer is, does Bengal need BJP as a political force to uplift its fortunes, which has been sunk for last 40-50 years?
I believe that BJP has always been the Bijli Sadak Pani uh, party. It has always been the pro-development party in India. No party does development like BJP. So any state that it has gone to, these were Bimaru states till a few years back. And now most Bimaru states have a much higher per capita GDP, standard of living, uh, and better quality of life than West Bengal and most other states. Most Bengalis go for jobs in BJP ruled states right now. So fact is that BJP's track record of democracy, uh, you know, development, economic growth, all that is quite well for us to judge. And it is, in fact, I would say, the best political party so far in terms of its markers of development. For example, if we consider Bihar before the even with a coalition partner like Nitish Kumar, who is Palturam, BJP does exceedingly well to preserve the democracy of a state like Bihar, which was totally lost under the regime of Lalu Prasad. If you recall, like a few years ago, when Lalu Prasad was not a few years, it's been a while now, but when Lalu Prasad was the CM of Bihar, we all remember the Apharan and all these kind of movies, and basically these were kind of documentaries on Bihar, Ganga Jal, all this stuff, and we all know that women were raped and things were horrible in Bihar. Okay, uh, but that has certainly changed now. West Bengal is actually, it has been horrible for a while, but West Bengal has become, I guess, even worse than Lalu's Bihar right now. So in that sense, the only party that has a proven track record of changing these kind of horrible incidents is the BJP. And I see no other way to change this except for voting for BJP in that sense.
Okay, understood. So now the second part of this question, we're going to actually analyze this in detail. So
Yeah.
when you gave a very good example in terms of track record data, that BJP is probably the foremost party who believes in human development and developing the society, economy, and overall everything else
Yeah.
that constitute society itself and its
Yeah.
constituents, people. So now, the Bengali intelligentsia or the Bengali people are generally perceived as someone who is actually not very keen on violence or any other bad things. They are primarily focused on developing their own families, their culture. So, when you say BJP is the most pro-development party which India has ever had in 70 years of democracy, why does Bengal does not vote for it? That is an enigma in such a way.
I don't think Bengal does not vote for it. The funny thing is, Bengal does not have votes. Firstly, Bengal does not vote in the conventional sense. Like if you go to Madhya Pradesh for during an election, you will not find any violence. You will not find Congress and BJP workers killing each other. You will not find bombs, guns, people coming in beating up, opposition party leaders. uh, Opposition party leaders put in jail. They can't even have a rally without police protection. So that kind of thing you will never find in any other state right now. Maybe in Bihar it was there, but now Bihar is also changed heavily. So you don't have any particular democracy in Bengal to begin with. So that's why you can't really say with a degree of certainty that Bengal does not vote for BJP. Number one. Because number two is BJP continues to enjoy an almost 40% vote share in West Bengal, despite all the problems and all the infighting and all the other issues that TMC has put forth, including violence, political violence, post-poll violence, rigging elections, all that stuff. Despite all this, the BJP is able to have a 40% vote share, which is obviously fully Hindu. So BJP is in Bengal is one of the few parties which can unite people across caste. So anyway, caste was not a big factor in West Bengal elections anyway. It was always party allegiance and sometimes religious allegiance and all. So we have proved, I think the people of Bengal have proven that Hindus can unite, at least 60-70% Hindus can unite under one party, which is almost impossible even in a state like UP or Gujarat and other places. I don't think 70% or 60% Hindus vote for BJP in any state, only Bengal. But you know, West Bengal also has a huge minority population which controls 80 90 seats. So you can't, the Hindu votes don't matter as much in West Bengal as they do in other states. So that's the bigger issue. Having said that, uh, why doesn't Bengal vote for BJP? The other, I think the perception is largely because of the vocal set of Bengalis who exist outside of West Bengal, who are the Bhadraloks, who keep, keep talking in leftist undertones and stuff, and work in multinational corporations and stuff, but still support Lenin, Stalin, and Jyoti Babu and all these things. So that is the reason that people perceive that Bengalis don't like BJP. But I don't believe that Bengali Hindus don't like BJP. That's the bigger thing.
Yes, so I can actually corroborate your perspective because I live outside Bengal, and we have like when I talk to people, correct? So they would be giving examples that you are talking about, that Bengali, the so-called Bengali intelligentsia is always talking bad things about BJP, no matter what they do. Okay. So that is something which is corroborated in a individual sense as well, and that probably is the overall country's mood, the way they think, how Bengali society or Bengali intelligentsia is actually talk about and think about BJP. Now, the third point, which I think this question we can take because it's relevant to our discussion. That's why I put it up there.
No,
Is
no, I
not
agree.
correct. So it's a correct healthy thing that is there. So and maybe this is something good. So okay, one more thing. Now when we talk about that, yes, Bengal needs development, and BJP can give them the development. Now for some other reason, whatever may be the cause, it is not able to come into power or be a political force which can make some political changes, and by it being a political power in Bengal, it would make also changes in the economy and development. So, what do you think BJP should be doing, okay, which gives them an enough chance to so that people of Bengal go beyond 40%, maybe 42, 43%. I think 3%, 4% change can actually make change fortunes. So, what do you think
Absolutely.
BJP should be doing?
This is going to not be an electoral answer per se. For
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
example,
Yes, yes.
I can say that the BJP workers should unite under one leader, Shubhendu Adhikari preferably, and they should challenge the TMC. But I don't think that's going to help, because you see, starting from IAS officers who work to WCS officers and others who work in West Bengal, nobody wants the BJP to come to power. And as I told you before, that West Bengal has a horrible track record when it comes to democracy. Like, uh, you don't know how people are going to vote, because many times people are not allowed to vote. And this is well documented in media and academic literature and all that. So the problem here is that if we think about it, the the what BJP can do in the state level is actually nothing new. It can't do anything. It can't do much different things. Okay, what it can do at the central level is the bigger question. Whether it wants to do things at a central level, that is an even bigger question. Matlab, if BJP really wants to come to power, then it must, do some things that will dismantle the TMC from inside, or at least challenge the kind of corrupt activities that many people engage in West Bengal. Okay, it cannot keep thinking that people will just vote, because people cannot vote. That is the biggest thing. People are not being allowed to vote. Not to mention that perhaps there are a number of illegal voters as well. This I am not saying. The Central Election Commissioner and all have pointed out that West Bengal has a high number of illegal Aadhaar cards, illegal voter IDs, and all that stuff. So if these are going to be what the big factors in the election, then democratic elections will never help BJP win like that. Okay. So therefore, the state unit can, perhaps you can revamp the state unit, give a new president, state president, but in at the end of the day, without central government's overwhelming support, you cannot change West Bengal. And for those who think that Mamata Banerjee and all They changed West Bengal. Every time there has been change in West Bengal, it has been the central government who has changed the state ka party. For example, if you take a look, in 1977 when CPIM took over, it wasn't the CPIM's politics that helped it take over. The CPIM was in cahoots. The Congress had actually lost nationally thanks to the emergency. And that, taking advantage of that, the CPIM, which was the second highest party in West Bengal, came to power. This was also coming off the back of the Naxalite movement, during which the Congress had seized power. Now, there is a kind of even academic discourse that 1972 elections were actually rigged by Congress, who took over the state machinery and quelled the Maoist uprising. But because in 77 Congress was badly voted out of power, the CPIM took power in the state. And then after the CPIM took power, the Congress and CPIM always had an understanding from central and state. They used to call them Turmuj, or the watermelon. Green on the outside, red on the inside. Okay. That's what Congress was in the state. So, matlab, the Congress state unit was never told by the central unit to actually destroy the CPM electorally. So it never did. But when Sonia Gandhi and Pranab Mukherjee decided that, okay, enough is enough, we will get rid of CPIM now, because they have not taken the US nuclear deal with us. They have opposed us on the nuclear deal and left the government. This was after 2006. Then they started supporting Mamata Banerjee, who then finally came to power. Because Mamata Banerjee has been in politics from the 1970s. But she became chief minister only in 2011. Remember that. So without the help of the central government, no change in West Bengal can happen. That is the reality. That has always been the reality. This is not a new reality. This has always been the reality. And the point here I'm trying to make is, if in 2026 the central government still does not help the state unit in every way possible, and again it loses like to 2021, then I fear that people will leave the BJP completely. Like nobody will support the BJP anymore. That is my fear. Or the BJP will have a huge dip in the vote share. Maybe other parties like CPIM and all might come up. I don't know. I mean, the truth is that the CPIM works for the TMC. So if you are a nationalist, you can never vote for CPIM. But what will happen is, because the people are so frustrated, they will probably form a new unit, newer political party, if the central leadership does not take 2026 seriously. So that is a big fear that I have.
Yeah, so let's do bit deep dives, correct? So there is a book called The Bengal Conundrum, the BJP and TMC, a book written. People who are interested in this, you can do a search for a book called The Bengal Conundrum. So now, the way we see BJP do their campaign, especially in Delhi elections, people who are interested in election, okay, as a topic, okay, they need to do some study or maybe do some research how the BJP had fought at elections in Delhi, where the Aam Aadmi Party was at the helm of affairs, and how they strategically actually made moves to defeat an incumbent power. Now, the conundrum is that why does not this strategy or effort or energy is put into Bengal? And that most people ask about it. So even I will ask you the same question and see if I can get some answers.
So you have to see that in Delhi, Kejriwal never had the police. Okay. Mamata Banerjee's biggest asset is not her political party, it is the police. And the police work in tandem. If you see Khaki Bengal chapter, you will know how the police works. Okay, matlab, they have shown an idealized version. That's not how exactly the police works. But most police officials, they have been instructed not to arrest some people and all that. I mean, I don't know who gives this instruction. This is alleged. I'm saying allegedly. Police are not doing what they're supposed to do, because the ruling party does not want certain things to be done. Now, this is the problem with Bengal that if you don't have a fair electoral system, if you don't have a fair political system, then you can't expect there to be a democratic change the way it was done in BJP by BJP Delhi. Okay, number one. Number two is you have to understand that I have a feeling that Kejriwal was not just defeated by the state level BJP. Kejriwal was also, heavily impacted by Modiji's campaigning in Delhi, and a lot of things worked. Like Kejriwal was sent to jail for a while. A lot of that and his, a lot of his corruption was exposed. Now, the problem with West Bengal is the corruption is exposed. Many of the leaders and big politicians have gone to jail. Many ministers have gone to jail. But still, West Bengal people don't care about corruption. That's the other big issue with West Bengal. Most people in Delhi, I guess, even then, some people knew that Kejriwal was corrupt, but BJP effectively targeted the corruption at a central level, kind of arrested him, made him look weak. Also, he did not have the police, so the police was always in the central government's hands. So many factors help. Matlab, you could expect Delhi police to behave in an impartial manner, relatively. And also Delhi does not, like I said, that Delhi will not have electoral violence like West Bengal. But this is the biggest problem, that in West Bengal there is no free and fair system, free and fair election, there is no there is no opposition space in West Bengal. If you pick up a flag of BJP and try to march on the road, God knows what will happen. So even if people vote for it secretly, which they do, even then, people are unable to vocally support the BJP or do things that are necessary for the BJP to win. So it's very difficult in that sense. So you can't compare not just Delhi, you can't compare any other state in the country with West Bengal right now.
Okay, so one specific thing, correct. So this is something which is, I think, a learning curve for everybody. So that you can have a base principles on which you can do your analysis in terms of political analysis, but your base principles will always be changing few here and there to actually compensate for uniqueness that the India represents. The way the elections are campaigned, the way elections are fought, the way they are analyzed, okay, in a homogeneous society like Japan or Europe, okay, or maybe some other countries, okay. So that template cannot be used in India, and you also belong to belong in the academic domain. So what do you think? Why this very logical thing? Well, people like us who are normies can understand this point of view. Why does that academic does not make those changes to actually make it a better document for, and maybe do a better analysis of this? Because we see the same template being just copy pasted everywhere, and it doesn't make any sense in terms of doing the analysis itself.
No, I have a very different view of this. I'll tell you what. Not a very different view. I would like to add my view here. If you think about it, you're right that we can't just copy paste templates and political campaigns and stuff in different parts of the country or the world and expect results the same way. Having said that, West Bengal's exceptionalism is not cultural, it is political. Okay. The exceptionalism of West Bengal was a created thing, like an artificial imposition by academics and journalists and intelligentsia of Delhi. Why I would like to blame Delhi is the people of Delhi who are who are journalists and all. Like there's a lamentation that these days આજકાલ good journalists are not there, good academics are not there. All that stuff people lament a lot. Okay, especially the elite intelligentsia. But I have to say that from the late 60s, when West Bengal was always having political violence and all that, like political murders, violence, this, that, whatever, all the problems that I mentioned. even Morijjabi massacre, many other incidents that we have discussed earlier. If they knew about it, which they did, then how come they never wrote about it and exposed it? So I'm telling you one thing, that yes, West Bengal is very different, but the difference with the rest of the country is more artificially created than natural. It is not something that that is inside our culture. In West Bengal today, some people said Pakistan Zindabad, and people caught them and beat them up. Okay, took them to the police. West Bengal people are not less patriotic, much less patriotic. Of course, there are the Bhadraloks and all these people who are more vocal, who have been cultivated by the communists and all. Okay, they are there. There is a section, but this is a very diminishing section. This is a very small section of society. Okay, do not judge. Like, if you go to a village in West Bengal, you will not find such people. Most Hindu villages in West Bengal, you will find nationalists who respect the army, who will respect the flag, who will respect Indian culture, Hindu culture, all that. Who will respect the government and the prime minister and all that. It's only in South Calcutta and a few other parts of the state that you will find these jokers who support other foreign ideology and all. But the problem is that the central government and the central agencies and the central journalists and all these people, they never tried to show the problems of Bengal and Bihar. Earlier, they used to cover up for Lalu. Okay. Now, the people of Bihar, like I said, the people of Bihar took a big decision and they voted for Nitish Kumar later. Remember, even Nitish Kumar was not supposed to be the CM. There was an emergency imposed in the state, after which Nitish Kumar became CM. Okay, so remember that it was a central government imposition in a way. Okay, even in Bihar. Now, when I come to West Bengal, it is a failure of older journalists and academics and all these people who failed to expose the true reality of West Bengal in front of the people of India. A guy sitting in Tamil Nadu, a guy sitting in Madhya Pradesh, a guy sitting in Gujarat, a guy sitting in Himachal Pradesh, they will never understand what is happening in West Bengal in Morijjapi, right? That's why it was covered up so beautifully. Gujarat riots were advertised every day by big journalists and all. But so many other massacres happen in West Bengal, nobody even got to know. Many Bengalis also don't know. Morijjapi has become, popular only now, since Deep Haldar's book. Before that, people didn't even know Morijjapi, many people. I myself heard it at the age of 24 or 25. Okay. So I was shocked. And I am a Bengali. I was born and brought up in Bengal. So the problem is that the people of India, the not the people of India, the governments of India, till perhaps Narendra Modi, and the journalists and the intelligentsia of India were always, they were trying to cover up for people like Lalu, Mamta, CPIM, all these people. And these elites, they are absolutely responsible for the state of affairs in West Bengal today. I don't always blame the local media because, some of them are definitely, pet dogs of the, the pet dogs of the ruling party. That will always be the case. But it was the central media which was free and fair in its supposedly free and fair, that was supposed to highlight the horrible, political violence and caste violence and different kinds of violence that was happening in West Bengal. They never did it. And that is the reason that CPIM lasted for this long in the state. Nobody people from outside came, people, intellectuals from America, Europe, they used to come to the Calcutta Book Fair. They used to say that CPIM is so nice and all that. Nobody showed them. Like, just imagine that if they heard about Morijjapi, if somebody exposed Morijjapi globally, then I doubt that so many foreigners would have thought that West Bengal is a great place. Okay. That is the bigger issue here. That nobody before 2007, nobody exposed the CPIM globally. Even I'll tell you what happened in 2000 and after 2007. So As I think CSK says, and even on your channel you have said, and even I have said on some of our podcasts and all, that you see, till 2007, the communist elites, the other elites, the national level elites, the big shots, the international elites, they always supported the CPIM, no matter what it did. Morik Jhapi, Nanur, this, that, other horrible Shaibari, Bijon Setu massacre, all these things, the CPIM was always supported by, the elites of America, Europe, and Delhi, and all that. What happened is that after 2007, when the central government decided to go against, CPIM, then suddenly, as we have said, that suddenly people start criticizing CPIM. So Noam Chomsky, who is a famous linguist and philosopher in the US, and he's a known leftist, he actually kind of tried to save the CPIM even then. मतलब उसके पास मैसेज या पैसा कुछ नहीं गया होगा. Okay. So he said that because of, I think even Prabhat Patnaik, the economist, who is a card-carrying communist, and the central government has kept him in JNU for God knows, he's still alive. I saw him in Calcutta a few days back. So these horrible people, they actually supported the CPIM when it killed farmers in Nondigram and Shingur and took away their land for industry. But people like Arundhati Roy went against them. So you will think that typically all these leftists are in the same group. No. What happened is the central government told one set of elites ki bhai ab tum lag jao. Okay. So there was a huge difference of opinion among leftists back then. Matlab, some people got the packet, some people got toolkit, some people did not get the toolkit. Okay. But overall, what happened is the Congress party played a big game and mobilized not only Calcutta elites but international elites to deal with the CPIM, and it worked because complete like a proper regime change operation, Buddha Babu's government lost and Mamata Banerjee became the CM. So the thing is, that is why I hold Delhi responsible always for the problems of West Bengal. The people of West Bengal were never allowed to vote properly, free, fair, and properly for the last 50-60 years. Okay. Very few, nobody can claim, except perhaps 2011 elections, nobody can claim that there have been fair, proper elections without any violence, without any kind of massacres, without any bombs, guns, this, that, threat, terrorism of any kind. Nobody can claim that any election has been free and fair after and before that. Okay. Maybe perhaps the first 2-3 elections in independent India were fair, free and fair. After that, West Bengal since the late 60s, every election has had rigging and problems. Every election. So that is the biggest one. That is why the Delhi elites failed us. And I have a inkling that I think that Vivek Agnihotri's upcoming movie, the Delhi Files, Bengal chapter, will have something to do with this. Matlab, how Delhi covered up for the horrible atrocities in West Bengal. Okay.
Yes, so now we are going to do this discussion in 3 segments. The first segment is does Bengal need BJP? We are about to end that section. After that, we will now pivot towards why BJP needs those 42 seats in Lok Sabha elections in 2029, and for that to happen, BJP needs to win the elections in 2026. So we'll move to that in after one question. So the last question to you is on this specific part. Bengal and Punjab. These are the 2 exception states in 1947 when India was partitioned, and
Yes.
Punjab and Bengal are 2 different states in terms of their demography, in terms of their society, in terms of their history. People actually
Yes.
don't understand the kind of horrors of partition which was observed, which was felt at the core level, at the emotion and physical level by these 2 states is beyond imagination.
Yes.
So, and that actually plays a very important role. The historical part of it, the economics in terms of freight rationalization policies and other policies, done by the central government, where we see a stark contrast in terms of the way Punjab was given a lot of benefits just because it was near
Yes,
Delhi, and the way Bengal was sidelined, and the central government let the left loonies to ruin, pillage, and do everything what they wanted in West Bengal, just because they did not want the CPM to knock at the doors of center. So in that
yes,
sense, people need to do little bit of more study and little bit more research and talk to people that 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. That is correct in mathematics. 1 plus 1 equals to 6. That is correct in politics. That's my last statement. So
absolutely.
I'll leave it to you, and then we'll go to our next segment.
No, I think you are absolutely right. There was a favoritism and there was a huge the freight equalization and all that affected West Bengal adversely. I don't know why the Congress actually did this. I think that perhaps I have a feeling because West Bengal, despite the partition, and I'm saying despite the partition, West Bengal was still like very rich and powerful as a state. Okay. And I feel that the Congress always, this was never a land where Congress was very welcome. Like, matlab, uh, look at our big leaders, Netaji Subhash, Shyama Prasad Mukherjee, all these people, even the
I will,
leftist, let's say, Jyotiba
yeah,
Phule.
I will just interject you for 5 seconds. Hindutva was born in Bengal,
Yes, yes,
and
yes. And
Congress wanted to destroy, exterminate Hindutva.
true, true, absolutely. You've put it like kind of on the dot. Uh, if you think about it, West Bengal's politics has never really been, similar to the Delhi and kind of Gujarat Mumbai kind of politics. Okay, and Maharashtra may be alag hai. Matlab Maharashtra, I agree. Maharashtra was also had its own kind of own flavor of politics. So if you think about it, the most and even Tamil Nadu. So these are three of the most industrially developed states before 1947. Maharashtra regions, Maharashtra, Bengal, Tamil Nadu. Okay, and abhi bhi Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu are different in their other. Despite Maharashtra having a BJP led government, Maharashtra has its own unique kind of different kind of politics that is very different from, let's say, UP, Bihar, and Madhya Pradesh and these kind of the Hindi speaking states. Okay, and as we know, the Nagpur is the head of the RSS and all that. So Maharashtra has its own kind of things. Tamil Nadu, as we know, has its own flavor of politics, has its own ideology. Forget that. West Bengal, I think the Congress always knew somewhere that West Bengal will be different. Matlab West Bengal ko we cannot capture in the way that perhaps we can capture other states in the other parts of this country. Okay, Tamil Nadu tab tak, if you think about it, in uh, the the DMK and all have come up. They are already challenging after Kamraj and all. Congress did not stand much of a chance. Like Congress, in a way, if you think about it, Congress started losing territories after the 60s very fast. Matlab, Congress was kind of losing. It's like a big chunk of the cake being taken away every few days. Okay. And what happens is that Congress kind of ends up losing all these parts, but Congress always knew that the Hindi push, the kind of thing that people accuse the BJP of, actually Congress started doing it. The push for Hindi and unification of that Hindi belt and all that, and again keeping those same states bimaru, matlab jahan pe they are imposing the culture and stuff, so called the culture of whatever they think, and also people are accusing them. Also, those same states Congress sucked dry. Matlab they created those into bimaru states. They destroyed through socialism. They destroyed the economy of those states. But also because those states were poorer, they kept voting for the same zamindars of Congress. Okay. Uh, in that sense, it's the problem because Congress could easily control these states, but the more developed states, matlab Bombay, Congress had to control because Mumbai they had to control because of the business and all that. Like the Mumbai was, big business hub, so you need it. You need money. Tamil Nadu slowly going out of your control, but Tamil Nadu maybe matlab people were not stupid enough to destroy every political, every industry. So Tamil Nadu somehow survived. But in Bengal, the problem is that you have a highly educated population. You have a mostly, highly developed state, and people like Bidhan Chandra Rai and all were developing it further. So this would eventually go like, and that's what happened. Like Bidhan Rai, after his death, Congress, went all haywire. Congress got defeated eventually. So Congress, I think, kind of saw that yaar Bengal jitna din rahega, Bengal could either go left, right, whatever, but it would not go the Congress way. Like the same formula that it used for the ex Bimaru states where Congress ruled for so long, right? That same formula is not applicable to other states like West Bengal and Tamil Nadu and Maharashtra and all. So it kind of either lost those states or tried to destroy those states. Now, why Bengal was actively targeted by it for destruction, I don't know, but I believe that it was also because of the prevailing kind of Soviet Union politics that was there, that was certainly had a role to play in India. Ki matlab, there has to be some basis for communism. Matlab, communism cannot be a side project. Communism has to thrive in India. But it cannot. So Congress elites thought that okay, ठीक है, Congress कहीं पे तो communism रख देते हैं. Let's keep it there. It will be contained there, and the rest of the country we can take. और वहाँ पे वो लोग let them eat themselves, kill themselves, whatever. Who cares? So I think that was perhaps the driving force, and they could not take out the communists for another reason, because the communists के सर के ऊपर किसी international बाबा का हाथ था. The Jyoti Basu government was a big blunder government, but who could remove Jyoti Basu, right? Like, if the central wanted, they could do it, but why would they? Why should they? Right? Yes, Abhay, Nehru was already quasi-communist, but even he had a problem with the Communist Party on many occasions. But he thought, yaar, this like pure strain of bimari rakh dete hai kahi aur. So that's there. Anyway.
Yes, so now we will move to our second point of discussion, that is regarding now why does BJP need those 42 seats in West Bengal? So, like we talked about from the perspective of Bengal, that okay, Bengal needs a party like BJP who do believe in developing human development, economic development, and all the other infrastructure, ports, all those things are required. Now let's go back to BJP as a political party. See, what we tend to do is we tend to analyze both sets of points of views. So we have to be an impartial in terms of our analysis. We need to do both parts. We can't do single part.
Yes.
The first part,
Absolutely.
what we discussed, that Bengali people need to vote for BJP in whatever way possible to get the development that they want, that they need to stay there. Now let's go back to BJP as a political party. Why do you think BJP needs those 42 seats that are up for grabs in 2029 state national elections, and why it really needs those 42 seats to actually secure its legacy in 2029 elections?
So, number one, 2024 elections was certainly a shocker for BJP and most of us. Okay, most of the world. I think very few people, except I think American intelligence and all, knew that BJP would perform badly. Okay, not even get the the halfway mark on its own, right? So, having said that, this means that the Narendra Modi we see now, who is doing a good job, I guess, of leading the country during a state of war and all that, is not the same. It is not the same Narendra Modi as 2014 ka Narendra Modi and 2019 ka Narendra Modi. Okay, I mean, I see a crisis of confidence, and despite him winning, him as in the BJP winning, three state elections back to back, despite all that, I have to conclude that the bigger issue here is that Modi ji's government is a minority government. It does not have the majority of its own party. It requires people like like Nitish Kumar and Chandrababu Naidu to support it. And again, these are all, as you know, contingent on their own understanding between each other. So, just for the sake of majority, where the BJP depends on Uttar Pradesh for 80 seats almost, and UP is very, UP has real democracy, unlike West Bengal. So you can't really manipulate it like that. So UP में अगर caste equation खराब हो गया, something goes wrong in UP, then you lose 40 seats like this time, like 2024. Then you really need at least 40 seats from somewhere, or 35 seats from somewhere else to make up for that. And only West Bengal is the only other state with so many seats where BJP has a legit contender, is where the BJP has 40% of the vote share, and it can capture the state and capture 35 seats even, I would say. This is why I'm saying that because of the weakness currently of the present central government in terms of elections, it definitely requires to secure West Bengal. West Bengal, the funny thing is, if the state is in the hands of a certain party, that party rules forever. Okay, that party rules for 30 years if they do things, in a certain way, or at least 20 years or so. So, in that sense, BJP's biggest problem right now can be solved by West Bengal. So BJP needs West Bengal badly. It's a big state with a lot of prizes. It can, once you come to power, unless you do things horribly, you can stay in power for 15-20 years easily without doing much work also. So in that sense, the BJP, even if it just comes to power and just implements Modi ji's schemes, basic schemes, BJP can stay in power for 15-20 years easily. Okay. And यहाँ पे people don't care about democracy in West Bengal. मतलब अभी तो forget democracy entirely. So even if BJP were to become like TMC or CPM in terms of democracy, मतलब rigging and all that, nobody would care. Perhaps the international media might care because it's BJP. Perhaps they might. But even then, I don't think the people of West Bengal, while voting, give a damn about international media that much. They look at the local media. They see the foreign sahibs as kind of कि हाँ ये लोग white आदमी बोल रहा है तो ठीक है होगा. But overall they have resigned their fate to the government. The government controls every aspect of people's lives in West Bengal, and people have stopped having a problem. मतलब corruption में कोई problem नहीं है. कुछ you can do anything in West Bengal and get away with it. Okay, so that is why the BJP really needs West Bengal. मतलब you can't find, even in Gujarat tomorrow, Narendra Modi might have a crisis of confidence. Can I get the majority? But once you're in West Bengal, unless you really mess up, you can stay in power for many years, decades. ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि one day Gujarat goes to Congress, but West Bengal remains with BJP if BJP takes it once. Okay, so it's because the people, even if you think about it, the regime change operation that I was talking about in 2007 regarding Buddha Babu, that even during that time, West Bengal had more educated people than it has right now. In the last 15-20 years, West Bengal has gone down even more in terms of education and basic necessities and quality of life. Okay, people are absolutely dependent on Bahubalis and government for survival. So if you just make the Bahubalis and policemen your own people or your own players, you can rule Bengal with relative ease. You don't need to worry. You don't need to do even propaganda. You don't need to worry at all. People here look at local gundas and vote. Okay, they are scared. So BJP does not need to work very hard to maintain West Bengal. And you get 30-35 seats easily. If you can manage the minority vote bank properly, you can manage 30-35 seats very easily, I would say. Okay. So in that sense, I must say that the BJP taking Bengal will be a good. I mean, it has to take Bengal in that sense. Now, if you think about it, that why else? Like apart from the 240 seats conundrum that Modi is actually in right now, if you think about it, Modi's other big threat is within the party itself. That is not to Modi himself directly per se, but Modi's popularity. Like people have already started saying ki Yogi Adityanath would do this, Yogi Adityanath would do that. As Retrowave pointed out correctly, almost according to me, if Narendra Modi is unable to take West Bengal and he keeps running coalition governments after this, the Hindutva wave that has certainly taken over a large part of the country's minds, okay, those people might want Yogi because Yogi's governance is right now the best at the state level. Yogi's track record with bulldozer and whatever is much better than most other CMs in the country. He is popular. He is unapologetically Hindu. He is known for kind of being uncompromising with criminals and rogue elements and stuff. So he is the perfect example of what a future of this country can look like. Okay, and he has the Hindi. He speaks in Shuddh Hindi, so he appeals to the largest vote bank of this country. That is the Hindi speaking crowd. Okay, and because of that, in West Bengal and other states, he's quite popular. He's people talk about bulldozer model all the time. So Yogi is very popular, and if Modi ji wants to keep his seat and in the party and in the country, I would say, then he needs to win more seats outside of UP. UP cannot keep guaranteeing 80 seats. It did not this time, and see what happened. Matlab, Modi ji needed 30 seats more to get basic majority, simple majority, and Modi, UP gave him 40 seats less. So those 30 seats that you need can be given by West Bengal. And on top of that, if Uttar Pradesh delivers more, then great, good for you. So let's see how
Okay,
they can
so
manage.
now let me do a little bit of more focus on specific to UP and Yogi Adityanath. Okay, so I'll spell out two or three things. First of all, like any new phenomena, like a new political party, okay, they will always have a burden of over expectation. Like
True, true, true.
every parent wants their child to become the next Einstein. So in that way, every child is perennially overburdened with over expectations. Okay. So
Yes.
the same way, correct, same way it happens with every political party. The difference being that what the political party actually promises. Okay. Some political party will promise that I will build you two or three religious places. Okay. So they have set the expectation where they want. Okay, I will do this if you vote me. Has the BJP, or as Sangh Parivar, or whatever you like to frame it, okay, in terms of their development agenda over development of society, economy, and other aspect of it, is that, and they have missed out the narrative part where you can actually manage the expectations, because it's human nature to actually expect more than what you bargained for. We always want two more mirchi from the lady who's selling chilies, okay, as a freebie.
Yes.
So that's a human tendency. So has the BJP missed the trick of using narrative to actually control the expectations that they would deliver, and that could have made a change in terms from 240 to 280.
I I think certainly seen the narrative aspect was there, but I think something else also matters. I have a feeling, and this is this is something else entirely. I have a feeling that the lack of crisis kind of sabotaged, 2024 more than lack of narrative. Of course, narrative is very important, no doubt. But I think because it was a positive message, people never really got out of their house, okay, and voted. A lot of people didn't. So you will see record low vote shares, vote turnouts in different parts of the country. And matlab, a lot of people did defend that as well. A lot of psephologists and all defended that. They said that, matlab, Gujarat mein when BJP got the best seats, the turnout was low. Okay, I bought that narrative at the time. I think Pradeep Bhandari or somebody said that. So I was like, okay, tab to theek hai, matlab, even if there is low. But you have to understand that what my gut feeling told me was that the peacefuls, the minorities, so called, they were they are always voting. Okay, they are 100%. They will have 100%, 200% turnout, voter turnout. Whereas the Hindus who, like, when there is low turnout, uh, you know, when there is low turnout, uh, it
Academic
becomes
man,
a
yeah, academic man. Just can you just check the private chat?
yes, I have checked. Thank you. Uh,
Yeah, so yeah, if so that's why I thought okay because I was okay. Anyway, continue and do whatever you want to do.
I think something may have gone wrong. Is
Yeah,
it
so do
still
you want to
is it still
continue?
okay? Is it okay?
Uh yeah, everything. See, from my perspective, it is okay. From your perspective, you want to continue or we can do this. So
I can rejoin. Just hold on. I can rejoin in a sec.
go ahead and rejoin. Okay, so let the academic man come. Till then, we'll take a few comments. If there are a few questions, we'll do this later, and also suggestions are there. We can take these suggestions. They're interesting. So, if BJP gives free jobs to everyone, 3,000. Yeah, we have the academic man back. Thank you, sir.
Uh, is it okay?
Yeah, it is perfect now. Yeah,
Thank you.
I think yeah. Continue where you have left off.
Okay, so in a sense that if we think about it, uh, what were we discussing last? I kind of
Yeah,
forgot.
yeah. I'll give you the cue. So we were discussing about the positive narrative, which actually made sure that there were not enough people coming out to
Yeah,
vote.
yeah,
So
yeah,
you
yeah,
need a
yeah.
crisis narrative.
So because of the lack of a crisis, I think, and because peacefuls don't depend on crisis or positivity, they are always going to vote, right? They are always going to 100% vote for whoever they think is right, which is anti-BJP party. So that in that sense, we have to remember that the Hindu population does not think of it that way. The Hindu population is not at war with anyone, so they don't think of it like they are not in perpetual crisis per se, unlike the peaceful. So what happens is that you need kind of, no, I won't say you need a crisis, but till a crisis is there, you won't have the voter turnouts that you need to ensure a Modi victory. Huh. That is perhaps on Modi kya matlab, the nationalist party's victory. You won't have that. But and that is the place where I think the narrative was totally wrong. I agree with you. The narrative was totally wrong in that sense. And also I think it kind of uh, jolted the belief of the people. You see, before 2024 elections, people were absolutely sure Narendra Modi will get 100%. Like the majority to 100% hoga hi. It will depend on whether 400 hoga ki 350 hoga. That is the main question that people had. That overwhelming belief in one man's ability to steer the whole country, that also screwed up a lot of things. Okay, Karyakartas and everyone, they kind of had too much faith in that narrative and that action. I don't know about the role of the RSS because I'm very confused. Sometimes the RSS says that uh, we did not campaign, so BJP did not win. So I will assume that in West Bengal, because the RSS does not want Mamata to go, then Mamata is not going. Like, if the RSS decides election results, then why is TMC winning in West Bengal every time, right? So, that is the bigger issue. Like, what messaging goes to the people to get them out of their houses to vote? Number one. Number two is, can you have so many kind of, opposition parties in the country who are outright, challenging the sovereignty of India, who are outright anti-Hindu in their stance, like Stalin's son and all these people, okay? And, you know, you're keeping them alive. In a sense, it also hurts, I think, some section of Hindus who think that, okay, I voted for Modi. I did, I'm a BJP supporter, my whole family. I told 10 people, I got 5 new voters for the party. I did my part, okay? And then I see Udaynidhi Stalin abusing, saying Sanatan is dengue malaria. I see, the TMC doing what it does. I see Congress, Rahul Gandhi going on abusing Veer Savarkar. Okay,
Yeah, I think there is some problem from your end. Again,
okay,
we have the
because the
same
voice is
issue.
going
Yeah,
again.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah. Yeah, actually,
I
there's
see.
some interruption. Okay. We can do one
Uh,
thing. I'll make it members only when it's done. So, or else we
no,
can.
it's fine.
Eh,
I'll
no,
I'll
no.
get. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Then continue. No problem. Continue.
Is it working now? Is it working now?
Yes, little bit better.
Okay, okay.
Go ahead.
So yeah. So in that sense, if we think about it, that uh, the way in which people have expectations, right, about what Narendra Modi can do or the Modi government can do for us in the future for Hindus, people who vote on Hindu issues, even I think there was a disillusionment among them also. Ki, matlab, if Mamta and all these people are continuing to do what they do, if Kejriwal, if Udaynidhi Stalin, Rahul Gandhi, all of these people are basically OSC, and all of these people are scot free. They can abuse Hindus anytime and get away with it. You know, if that is the main perception among people, among Hindus, then also this is a problem. You know, uh, it is it is a failure, I would say, of the central government and RSS and all RSS, the all-knowing RSS as well, that they could not kind of convince the people, okay, we are on this. Matlab, your textbooks are still the same. Your narrative, the professors, teachers, they're not putting out anything new in the world. The people are still saying Modi to mumkin hai. Modi to mumkin hai, I agree, but kya mumkin hai? Matlab, what is the future of Hindu issues? You don't even have Waqf bill till 2025. You don't have temples are still not free. So what is it that my vote for BJP gets me? Ram Mandir and a few other, maybe 370 370 के बाद भी ये सब हो रहा है. So it is if they at least did delivered more on the core Hindu issues. Now Kashmir ko bhi, people kind of, I have a feeling that people weren't really affected by Article 370. Of course, Article 370 was absolutely abrogating it was necessary. I agree. But the more pressing issues right now in the country were Waqf Bill, UCC, many other issues that have been plaguing Hindu society for the last 100 years or so. Exactly. I agree with that. I agree with that point. If all Hindu issues are gone, then BJP. But then what are we getting? Like people who risk their neck in West Bengal and vote for BJP, support BJP. Just not in West Bengal, in other parts of the country where you can lose your job for being pro BJP. Whatever, many times it has happened. People have commies have kind of gone against someone for being BJP supporter and all. So if that is the case, then all of these, what are people going to get by voting for BJP? That was also a crisis. Not just the fact that there was no Pakistan, Kashmir issue was solved. Ram Mandir ho gaya, all that was there, but on top of that, there was a failure of delivery. Okay, and I think that was also something that people were kind of uh, affected by. Matlab, Ram Mandir was like level 10 of the game. ठीक है, Ram Mandir बना लिया. But the things that plague us every day, the temple freedom thing, the UCC issue, the Waqf bill, the NRC, all these things, the basic, very important kind of, the reforms that we were expecting, many of us, that have still not happened. Like, I don't think even 50% of those reforms have happened. Right. So that is another point of concern. Whether BJP can keep calling itself a Hindu party and keep doing what it does.
Okay, so I'm going to now play a devil's advocate here, okay, and
Yeah.
just make 2 or 3 points, okay, which from my perspective as a rational thinker, which comes into my mind. First of all,
Okay.
you look at almost 200-year memory, institutional memory, okay, which Congress and the over the administration brings in.
Yeah.
200 years of institutional memory, okay, and Congress, and technically it was a transfer of power, not independence, okay. So you
Yes.
had 95%, I might be wrong, 95% of everything was as the the way the British run the government of India, it was same running for next 10 years, or maybe
Ah,
50 years, 50 years. So there was no
yes.
technical change as such, okay. So if you're going to consider that as a foundational issue, okay, within
Yes.
the administration, the political parties, the incentive structure, the way things are done, the way processes are being defined, if that is the case, then are we at the tyranny of high expectations, which I would say BJP overplayed the card in terms to win elections. Okay, and I
Yes.
don't blame them for that. Every political party would do that. Every political
True.
party
True.
would promise you the moon,
Hmm.
but with the narrative play, they would manage that expectation, okay, to create a stable vote bank, which actually BJP failed to deliver on that front. So, and there's one more problem, not a problem, but a kind of data point, that 2019 elections and the Balakot strikes created a kind of sense of, I would say, false sense of security in terms of their perceived popularity among the masses. So
Yes.
2019, so people actually ignore that 24 election results is somewhat down. The cause can be also found in the 2019 election landslide which the BJP got. So it was a
Yeah.
kind of a wrong kind of message received by the BJP rather than the right kind of message it should be delivered. So this that only Modi itself is good enough to win elections, that was absolutely crap and wrong. Okay, and they had
Yes.
to pay for this in 2024. And the last part is that 10 years being out of power, okay, for Congress party and for the elites and other stakeholders, correct. So so BJP was lackluster in terms of their own perception that what they can do and what the results would be. And the other hand, this 10 years of drought with the Congress
Yes.
and opposition, and with the help from other, it created a kind of a domino effect, where I was sleeping and the other guy was running for 20 miles every day.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So it was a,
No,
it was a unique kind of circumstances.
no, I absolutely agree with you on these fronts. My other point was that, it's disappointing in the sense that, for example, if you vote in West Bengal and you are voting for BJP since 2014, actually some people have voted for BJP for many years. Okay, matlab, mane decades even in West Bengal, because they are proud Sanatanis. Okay, then 2014 onwards, large sections started voting for Modi, and तब से BJP has only increased its vote share. But what will be your expectation? That people are not stupid. Okay, after the point, people will see that a person like Mamata Banerjee is ruling, despite so many corruption case, this, that, whatever. Every day BJP says that Mamata Chor, Abhishek Chor, all that stuff. Um, you know, all these things are kind of disappointing people. Matlab, yes, it's true that BJP has overpromised on many things, and anyone would, like even Congress overpromises, even left overpromises. But you have to understand that they are the BJP fails to understand one thing, that they are not the de facto elites of this country. Still, Congress understands the country better than BJP, because Congress treats us like the animals that we have become. You know, kind of like Congress thinks of us as dirt, but we have worn that cap for many years. Okay, we allowed Congress to treat us like dirt, and we like that. We like being beggars. We like the schemes that Rahul Gandhi comes up with, and also we have this. I recall a friend of mine in Delhi once saying that Rahul Gandhi is the Prince of India. Okay, I was like, what prince? We have Zamindari, Raja Vaja, sab khatam. Whose prince is he? Okay, but this kind of mentality, Raja Maharaja type mentality, that persists, and Narendra Modi will always, I mean, because of his own branding, he will always be remembered as the chaiwala. Okay, and I'm not saying that's a wrong thing. Of course, this is the strength of Indian democracy, that a tea seller can become the prime minister or whatever. That is good. That is great. But remember that in history, when you read history, very few chaiwalas stayed in power. Okay, it was the kings and feudal lords and zamindars who sometimes even did horrible atrocities on people who last in power. Okay, so that is the bigger issue here, that the BJP has to understand that it is not the de facto ruling class. It is not a dominant caste party. Okay, it is the non-dominant caste party. But dominant caste is dominant caste for a reason. If you go to Jat areas, like Jats are like the kings of the area, right? They may not have the political power that they think because of democracy, because other castes have pitched in, but they act like it, and because they act like it, other people I have seen the same as BBK, Brahman Buddha Kaisto in West Bengal, right? They act like they own the state. They act like they are talking for every Bengali. But that is because, despite their small numbers, they are the most vocal and the most powerful castes in the state. So, as a same kind of logic, the BJP has to understand that its value is in it delivering for the little guy, because the little guy is always its voter. The big dominant caste farmers. Just look at the farmer protests, right? The farmer protest was run by dominant caste. The farmer protest was not by poor farmers. In fact, poor farmers many times supported BJP, but because the dominant caste farmers they could not control, they are doing this. Matlab kya hua? Despite having 303 seats, despite having so many states in their uh, kitty, the BJP could not co-opt these elites or create their own set of elites to vocally support it. Okay, so tumko either you can do two things. You can become like the dominant caste elites, then you will become another Congress, or you can change the narrative that kind of destroys the dominance of the dominant caste. But you have not done that either. You have not made the place. You have not created your own set of elites who will support your political ends, who can go out and say, like Anand Ranganath, you need 50 or 100 or 200, 500 Anand Ranganathans, or you need 100 Jesai Deepaks, 500 Jesai Deepaks all over the country. You are not doing that. You think that Narendra Modi ka picture laga diya or ho gaya, come. But that is the worst part. BJP still behaves like it is the opposition party. Okay, you have to behave like the king. You can be the king, but if one guy said once, actually Declan Quigley's paper, I think one of his papers they were there. He said that king is king. Okay, now if the king starts cycling beside you on the road, king goes on public bus with you, king is going in metro with you, without bodyguards and all. When the king travels, let's say, even when you see the um, क्या बोलूं, let's say the Finland's prime minister is riding a cycle. उसके आसपास there will be security. Okay, he will not be alone. उसका भी फोटो अप वगैरह होगा और वो रोज नहीं करेगा, obviously. The same way, even when Narendra Modi takes the metro, you think that most of the public is just normal public. Most of them are security guards, right? So the same way that if the king does not behave like the king, then people also won't treat the king like a king. So ये forever underdog होना, इसको blame कर दो, जॉर्ज सोरोस को blame कर दो, अमेरिका को blame कर दो, ये at the end of the day, George Soros is not some. Maybe you and I are thinking about what George Soros is saying, but but who cares? Like will a rickshawala who has voted for BJP because he is Hindu and then he has to pay tola to TMC Gunda, okay, will he care about what George Soros did in America? He won't, na. So I think Modi's biggest failure, not Modi's failure, I would say the BJP's biggest failure was in not dealing with the opposition parties of India, who are the biggest enemies of the vote bank of BJP. The whole thing is that India is like a land of gundas. Matlab, I vote for my own gunda so that he can take out the other gundas who are hitting me. If my gunda stays at home and does not, I have to only deal with the gunda who is oppressing me, then why should I vote for my favorite gundas, right? So this is the aspect that BJP it has to behave like a Congress party. मतलब कांग्रेस पार्टी से वो ले लिया कि काम नहीं करेंगे, और कांग्रेस से ये नहीं लिया कि कांग्रेस जमींदार है. हाँ, और सीपीएम से they took the socialist aspects of CPIM कि let's do welfare, let's help poor people, लाडली बहना करो, ये करो, वो करो, वो सब ठीक है, अच्छा किया. माने अच्छा किया in the sense like Modi has, I'm not personally supporting these schemes, but since everyone does it, I guess Modi also has to do it. Also, you see, they did it better than any socialist party. Like Narendra Modi does socialism better than socialists. But the problem is different. The CPIM also acts like it knows everything. मतलब कोई भी random तुम uneducated CPIM leader को ले लो कहीं से, they will give you ज्ञान on literally every aspect of your life. मतलब foreign affairs, all kinds of things. Okay. CPIM has CPIM का basic कोई leader को ले लो, everyone knows everything. But BJP leaders, they fumble. They are not the intellectual elites that CPIM people pretend to be. They are not the feudal elites that Congress pretends to be. They are not, national elites like Shashi Tharoor and all who are, speaking in English and all. So they are still Chaiwala ka party. And despite me celebrating the Chaiwala thing and all that, we have to understand that people in India don't vote for Chaiwala. They vote for kings and queens and all that. Okay. So he has to be like an oppressive king, whether we like it or not.
Yeah, so we'll end this segment with this ironical quote that BJP never acts like a henchman. Okay, and
Exactly.
So the irony is that everyone accuses you of this being the same, and you never act like the same.
Exactly.
Yeah. So now the one more question, and then we'll go to audience questions, and then we'll go towards wrapping things up. Okay. So
Yeah.
now tell me, from 2024 onwards, the way we are seeing a kind of, I would say, in my perspective, a kind of tectonic shift the way politics is done in West Bengal, especially with the advent of Shubhendu doing what he's doing. So
Yeah.
I have never seen this. I am observing politics for last 20 years, but I have never seen this kind of politics being played in West Bengal, and in public politics, not private politics. So what do you think? 2024, they took some lessons, and they are trying to make some changes which are going to have a positive impact on their balance sheet in 26 elections for BJP.
Yes, it will certainly rally the voters. That much I can say. The currently, as you can see, that the whole country, the Hindus of the country, they want, they are in support of the government. Okay. all that is fine. I mean, West Bengal is also, I'm telling you that the average Bengali, the poor, the villagers, the even the urban poor in Bengal, and many even, even rich Bengalis, okay, Hindus who are there, they all support the government and the country and all that. That part is good. And uh, right now, since it is the crisis period, all that is there. But one thing is there, that if Shubhendu Adhikari, whether he's allowed to kind of function the way he wants to function, like, you see, in West Bengal, you cannot micromanage from Delhi. That is my other belief. There are people in the West Bengal BJP who are micromanaging on behalf of the center. Okay, the Zilla level workers, the kind of district presidents and all, block presidents and all, इसमें बहुत कुछ घपला है, as far as I know. And this is the bigger problem, that even if Shubhendu Adhikari and all have rallied people, even if people are genuinely becoming Hindutva oriented and nationalists and all, even then, what's happening is that because of the manner in which the state BJP is controlled by the center, I don't think it is yielding the kind of results that we think that it should yield. Okay. Shubhendu Adhikari, no doubt, is a great force. I mean, and whatever he was, TMC, this, that, this, all these stupid questions come up every now and then. But we have to look at Himanta Biswa Sharma and see that how, he became from a Congress guy, just like Shubhendu, he came from a different party and became, whatever, he became the like Hindu Hriday Samrat of Northeast, right? So same way, Shubhendu is also, I think, trying. My point is that whether he is being given the leeway in the state to try, or leeway agar tum nahi de rahe ho, if you're not giving Shubhendu the leeway, whereas I believe that certainly he has been instructed by some sections ki tum thoda hard Hindu ho jao, type of thing. Maybe he has been given that permission, but you do that to play with the emotions of the people, and then you don't give him the ultimate power. That may not be the best strategy. Yeah, either this, or maybe in 2026, if they have plans to take over, they are just prepping the voters. If that is the case, even then I guess we can concede. But at this point in time, I don't see the central party supporting somebody like Shubhendu with as much support as Shubhendu needs. Okay, to kind of change things.
Understood. So, okay. So now we'll go for questions. But there's one more thing I need to just ask before we go for questions.
Yeah.
We have talked about what Bengal needs. We have talked about what BJP needs. Now, let's talk for 5 minutes about the common citizen. Okay.
Yeah.
This peculiar habit, it's a human habit. Okay, I don't blame anybody. This peculiar habit of piggy banking on somebody else to do your own job, okay, to your own thing, and that is very peculiar among the Hindus specifically. Okay,
Yes.
because we have a false sense of security which we try to like inculcate into our behavior. So this lack of political, I would say, political understanding of Hindus. Okay, is this
Yes.
something that can be cured? Because if until Hindus become politically aware of their rights and how to get their rights, okay, in a democracy,
Yes.
you are never in a democracy, no matter who you are, nobody is going to give you your rights on the plate. And that
True.
is
True. True.
something which is not understood by Hindus specifically. Now, how as a person who belongs to academia, okay, who done some research, what do you think? What can be done in 1 or 2 steps to actually create that awareness? Maybe it takes one generation, no problem. But how do we make sure that the next generation of Hindus are more politically aware than what they are now to safeguard their own future?
I think that the biggest thing that perhaps people fail to understand is that till you kind of now, as you know, I've always spoken about crisis and all that, right? Like my view is ki matlab without a perception of crisis, people don't wake up ever. But even apart from that, even apart from the crisis, I think that a feeling of kind of, what can I say, a feeling of more, self, matlab atmanirbharta, that, what Modi ji says, atmanirbhar, right? That you have a feeling of self-reliance in your mind. That is also missing. And you said it right. Like, matlab, if you depend on other people to make your demands for you, then you don't have, the kind of power
Leverage,
that you
leverage.
leverage that exactly. So, in that sense, the atmanirbharta or the self-reliance that Hindus need to have, that is the first step towards becoming a vocal minority or majority. Jobio, even in a state like Jammu, if Hindus there start protesting heavily and saying that, bhai, enough is enough, now give us our own state with our own machinery and all that, and stew Kashmir. Kashmir has sucked our blood enough. Then things can happen. But as you said, that Hindus are not designed that way, but we have to make it. I mean, I guess channels like yours, CSK, they are trying to kind of promote this kind of thing, right? Like in the sense that without becoming less dependent on the government, can you insult the government? Matlab, if your dad is paying your pocket money, then you can't go and tell your dad ki bhai, Baba, I don't want this anymore. Okay, I don't like your behavior. So your dad is paying your pocket money, but you can't challenge him. You have to earn your own money, and then you can say that, okay, now I am, I think this should happen in this family. But till you're in your dad's hotel, you can't say it. The same way, till we depend on the government for every aspect of our lives, including Lokhir Bhandar and all this stuff, till then, I don't think that level of change will happen. Only crisis, as I said, the achievable thing is crisis. The ideal thing is self-reliance. But matlab crisis in cannot, crisis cannot motivate us enough. So self-reliance tak aane mein time, I guess it might happen one day. I'm not saying it will never happen, but again, like I said, it's a long term thing. Won't happen in 10-15 years.
Yeah, actually, in one of the podcasts with HB Niti, Hindu Vichadara show, I had to actually like ask people. See, we talk about what has happened to us for over 1,000 year period, which is very,
Yes.
very, very bad. Okay, it is atrocious. Okay, but think about it. Still, it's a very long memory. Think about it in Second World War. What happened to Jews in the Auschwitz
Yes.
camps? Okay, in the
Yes.
concentration camps. If
Yes.
and and that was actually people watched it like it's a like was a recent memory. Okay. We can
Yes.
what
Yes.
happened to Somnath and others, still it's a very long memory, so you can still
Yes.
like like disconnect from it. Think about the
Yes.
Jewish people who had suffered this, okay, and saw it in front of their eyes, documented in newspapers, magazine, pictures everywhere. It is right in
Yes.
front of you,
Movies.
and still they had the courage, they still had the actually mental strength to actually come out and become who they are today, whatever they are. I'm not going to talk about it, but they are in a much better state than what we are. So
Yes.
this negation, this a balance needs to be struck, and that can only be done by political elites and also the cultural and social elites, okay, funded by the businessmen, okay, and that is something which is not, cannot be built, because that was actually destroyed over 1,000 year period. People don't understand
Yes.
that the cultural elites, the political elites, and the financial elites that we had, which was based on the temple economy,
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
destroyed over 1,000 year period, from the Islamic
Yes.
invasions to British to Portuguese and others. That was destroyed over 1,000 year period. So now I want that to be reestablished tomorrow. But is that
It won't
something which is
happen.
practical? It will not happen
It won't
tomorrow.
happen simply. Also, as you, I think the reason I liked your last comment is I think you give the proper difference. मतलब Israel के साथ the Jews faced excessive, intensive persecution in a very short period. Hindus have been facing extensive persecution over a long period. So what's happening is it's like salami slicing the Hindu landscape. Like slowly one day, it's not like one fine morning you wake up and see everything is gone. It's not like that. Every day 1 inch, 2 inches gone for 1,000 years. And then you wake up and see, every day if 2 inches are gone over 1,000 years, then so much land is gone. So many people are gone. So I think that is the bigger issue. Ki, matlab, this is a death by 1,000 cuts. It's not a one stab in the stomach or something like that. So I think that is the other reason that we did not ever, you put on a shield when you are being attacked in the front. You don't remember to put on your shield when you're somebody stabbing you in the back, right? So it is very different, and I think that is the biggest problem that we have right now.
Yeah, and from my perspective, the solution needs to start on the individual level, because you cannot like expect the political leadership or the other social leadership to come about in next 20 years. It will take a generation to do that. So that will be the yes. So yeah. So now what we'll do is so individual responsibility is something that we have to start with. Okay, I'm not saying that okay, I'm going to make a change to the society itself, but
Yeah,
the beginning starts with an individual himself, whether he
true,
is doing puja in the mandir or giving 5 rupees to the
absolutely,
pujari. That is your contribution. Until that individual responsibility comes up and we own it up and we do it over a long period of time, okay, that is a beginning where you want the Hindus to become, and they become
absolutely,
politically and otherwise a kind of force to reckon with. So now this
absolutely.
ends our discussion, and what we're going to do is now we're going to take a few comments
A
and
few
questions.
questions. Yeah,
Yeah, so
Saptarishi is going on asking a question. I think he's been saying
Saptarish
that.
is, Saptarish is asking too many questions. So I have taken a few of them. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. You can repeat your questions. I will take it again, but I have noted down few of them, star mark. So let's take the first one. This is from Saptarishi. So, what is okay? Ask what is this pain which BJP faces in terms of communication issues? Because there was a seriously anti-Modi narrative rising during 2024 election as well, even now. So, this communication or the narrative issue he's talking about, that they are incapable of doing things, or it is a genetic problem as an organization.
Shh. Again, we go back to the elite theory. Like, if the elites don't say something, like the educated people, it's very easy for them to hate on BJP. You have to understand that. Like I keep saying, BJP is the forever challenger, the forever underdog party, right? So the elites, they fail to capture elites. It's as simple as that. They have to, and Inca idea of elites is any random person can be an elite. Yeah, this is one part where I totally disagree with the Sangh and the BJP on. They don't understand that credentials and language and body language and all this stuff matters. If a kind of a kabadiwala might be very wise, okay, he might know more than a professor, okay, he might be genuinely a good person and everything, but यार कबाड़ी वाला का कौन सुनता है? Let's face that fact, okay. And a guy who might be a professor from with a fancy foreign degree, he might be an absolute moron like Amartya Sen. But it doesn't matter, like, because he has a foreign Nobel Prize and foreign degree and all, people will listen. It's as simple as that. Okay. And Sangh and BJP fail to understand. They do a lot of social justice in the sense that they put Vanavasis and Scheduled castes and all these people in positions of power. They are always doing it. But yaar, और करना चाहिए ना, and plus attack mode. Like, I think Neerajan on his podcast was saying the other day that somebody and this was something I think Kushal also said, that John Oliver के again John Oliver said absolute rubbish about संघ. Okay, मतलब संघ क्या है और क्या बना दिया. हाँ, संघ को मैंने सुपर विलेन टू द पावर इंफिनिटी जोकर वोकर कुछ बना दिया, बट संघ इज बेसिकली अ एनजीओ. ओके, उसको उसको कुछ और ही बना दिया. तो ग्रेट. नाउ if I were a important member of the Sangh, I would first thing, the day I saw this, I would take it to court. Okay, I would take him to court and I would seek 1 rupee for defamation, but I would seek the defamation charges and I would present the thing in front of the court where, you know, matlab, this man has totally misrepresented me, totally lied about me in public forum. He needs to apologize. ये करना चाहिए था. Okay, if you don't attack na, this is such a time, this is Kali Yuga. If you don't attack, people will think you're a loser, and once people think you're a loser, they will not, you know, they will first thing they will do is they will walk all over you. This kind of that social stability you keep talking about now, that is the Sangh's and BJP's mostly the Sangh's primary thing is social stability and all that. भाई stability तो तब होगा ना when you stand with a lathi at the door. If you say that okay, my door is nice, it needs to be fixed, जितना बार तोड़ेंगे उतना बार बनाएंगे दरवाजा, then it won't happen. You have to stand with a lathi. Anytime comes somebody is trying to break your door, you break his head. It's as simple as that. But that mentality does not, you know, does not seem to come in their minds basically.
Yeah, we'll take a minute more to actually emphasize. So, correct. So, after 2024 elections, we have seen a few online media where we have seen a newly curated narrative is being published. So, the example I'm showing, the pamphlet, okay,
Yes.
which is doing a kind of a, I don't like it a lot. It's effective enough, but I don't like it enough because they're just copy pasting something that already done by others. They can do a bit more innovation than just copy paste what other people are doing. But to answer the question, there is a change, but the change is not as fast enough, as swift enough that you and I wanted to be really.
Yeah, and when you see a state like West Bengal, right, like where the demography changes very fast. Now, if you don't need to change the narrative in Gujarat or I don't know Rajasthan right now. Okay, Rajasthan and Gujarat will hopefully be Hindu majority even in the next 100-200 years. But in West Bengal, 20-30 years down the line, you can't predict what will happen. And if that is the case in West Bengal, if the demographic dividend is lost, then West Bengal is lost. It will become another Kashmir. So then what will you cry about? That is the biggest issue, that it's not being done fast enough. And let's face one fact, the TFR of the country has gone down, the TFR of Hindus has gone down heavily. And this will definitely impact us in the next 30-40 years, whether we like it or not. So
Yeah, so we are seeing.
The bigger issue here.
Yeah, we have also put that in the our thumbnail, demography vote bank.
Yes.
So it's great. Okay, we'll take. Okay, so we have bit of dearth of time, so we will be doing few more episodes on this. So we'll take your question a bit later. Yeah, but last question we'll take for today, and that is something which Retro has asked. Okay.
Yes.
Let me see that one. I have already it. That. Where is this? Okay, yeah, here it is. The last question for today from Retro. Let's say as a Sanatani, I go and join a volunteer service. While doing so, I get backslash from my family, and they say, "Khore, okay, how do you reply to that?" Okay, so first, AcademicMAN, let you answer. You know better than that.
I personally think now my reply might not suit a lot of people. I personally think first build your career in whatever field you want. Okay. Side में देखो सबका काम नहीं होता है. I'm not saying I believe in the caste system. I don't at all. But I am saying that there are people who are better at some things and there are people who are better at other things. There are people who are great fighters. They can fight physically. They can take a gun and go to the Siachen Glacier. I can't do that. Okay, let's be honest. And you know that those people, our job, I think, if we are the so-called intellectual class or whatever, we might be the more educated class who are doing IT jobs or teaching or whatever. Then our job is at the keyboard. Okay, there, but then there are problems. I understand, and that's why I'm hiding my face. And Navavi, I don't know when he who he stays outside West Bengal. If he comes to West Bengal, what will happen? I don't know. So so in that sense, like, your job is, if your job is keyboard warrior, don't take it as a, and you perhaps that is your, that is your, you are forced to do that. Let's say you don't want to, maybe you want to join the army, maybe you want to help the country as a Swayam Sevak, whatever, maybe you want to do seva. But if you have to provide for your family, you have to provide for a wife, child, mother, father, whatever, and you are unable to do that, then in other ways you can always contribute. You can always hide your face and do stuff. You can always write books. You can always, I don't know, you can always contribute in other ways. You don't have to always go up to Siachen and protect the borders. You're perhaps that is not your job. There will always be a large section of people who will be willing to do that job, but our job is to support those people, right? So if this is my job, to support the army of the country, if to support the Jawans, then we have to try and do it within our limited boundary. But usko karne ke liye don't, I this is one thing I have faced personally. Many people I know, Sanghis, have faced. The left is very united in its ability to take down people. Okay, matlab, they will cancel you if you don't know how to tread carefully. They will cancel you. They will make your life hell. You have to be first united with other people who are thinking like you, and then you have to use the same method to go back at them. Matlab, use their weapons on them. If you get attacked, then attack back in their own language, the language they are using, right? So perhaps that's what we can do. I mean, maybe you create a WhatsApp group or something where people can join and you can report anti-India videos, anti-Indian army videos. Even that is a big contribution. Maybe 500 reports are there. Okay, something, I don't know. I mean, you can even that is a big contribution. We can. You don't always have to go out in the field with a gun. That is my view. Of course, as CSK will say, everyone should own a gun. I am not totally for that. For a different reason entirely. I believe that, let's say I have a gun in my house and 200 peacefuls are attacking my house, then one gun won't help anyone. Unless you have that, the machine guns or something. But apart from that view, the main thing we can do perhaps is, take our role as keyboard warriors seriously. What you do seriously. That's my, what if you're looking for advice, that's my advice, basically.
Yeah, so I will just going to second the point that Academic has mentioned, AcademicMAN. See, when you do something at an individual level, okay, and if you seek enough people around with a similar ideas and conceptions, by organic you will form a group, and that will be able to amplify your work. But the start has to be an individual first. I need CSK started a podcast, correct? By watching him, I started one more podcast. And
Yes.
if CSK has not started the podcast, this podcast would not exist.
True.
So at an individual level, take small initiatives and make it very simple. Don't make it too tiring for you that you can't follow. Okay. Maybe go to temples twice or 3 days in a week and just pray to Kalima. Okay, that is also contribution, because you are praying in the temple, somebody else will be observing it and they will get influenced
Yes.
by this. So we
Absolutely.
small acts of these things we don't actually consider as very normal, but they also play a part. And then you will form your own group as an organic process. You don't have to go and seek out people. You need funding for that. So that is something that I would suggest. Do small things from your end, and don't think a lot about what will happen tomorrow. See, your own actions will not have enough impact to actually change everything tomorrow, but your small actions will have a gradual impact which may change your future generations uh, stake itself.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, so now Abhay Agarwal agrees with me. Okay, thank you. And
I will.
on on that note, that's a very it doesn't happen a lot, so I want to share it with everybody. So on
Yes.
that note, thank you, Man, for coming, and we had quite an interesting discussion. So we are not talking about
Definitely.
war, and all those things, but
Yeah.
something different for people to think about it. Okay, and maybe we will do some other programs. I'm planning to do one book reviews
Yeah. Yeah.
on the book reviews with you on few topics that I want actually. So we'll talk about it, and that will give you a kind of perspective that actually we are not getting in many things. Okay, so we'll talk about it. So there's a special episode
Definitely.
coming in very near future on the Hindutva book review session with
Yeah.
Academic
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. Okay. Wonderful.
So thank you everybody for joining. Have a happy Monday. Namaste, Jai Shri Ram.
Namaste, Jai Shri Ram.